Assalamu alaikum, this is Dr. Ramda, and we are discussing 8th Constitutional Amendment. Since it was a big long, so I converted it into two parts. We have already discussed the powers of the President under 58(2)(b) to dissolve the National Assembly. Same powers were also given to the governors of the provinces of Pakistan under Article 112, and it provides the same statement. If the chief minister fail to enjoy the majority or not commanding majority in the house, or the situation arise where he is not performing duty under the constitution and fresh mandate is required, then he can call for next elections and dismiss the national provincial assembly. Now we come to the National Security Council. Article 152A of RCO regarding National Security Council was not accepted by the Parliament. They were insecure that it would institute the role of military in constitution, in political system, so it was omitted. Articles 270A regarding validation of martial law and all martial law orders and action, as I described in the previous part, that all martial law orders were accepted, and when they were accepted, they became the part of 88th constitutional amendment. It was included martial law orders, regulations, ordinances, presidential orders, referendum order, and RCO, and it was introduced by Ziaul Haq for validation, and validation word was changed with affirmation. Article 270A also had a distinction that for the first time in the history of Pakistan, the president was named as General Zaul Haq, though it was not allowed under the constitution. The Constitution of Pakistan, under Article 2, states that no person can enjoy two profitable offices in the service of Pakistan, while General Zia was army chief and he became the president of Pakistan. It was unconstitutional, discussed again and again, and it is called two-hat issue, but General Zia refused to remove one hat. Analysis of the amendment, that is very important. It was a compromise on the part of civilian government because they were compelled to, if they did not allow all RCO to be incorporated in the form of 8th constitutional amendment to 1973 constitution, martial law would not be lifted, and country remained under martial law for unlimited period. So they prefer to compromise and incorporated all the uh, directions given by General Zia in the form of RCO, except National Security Council. General Zia and his partner, his group, forced Junejo to make all concessions to military regime and provide them indemnity to lift martial law. Despite having all affirmations, General Zia was not very confident and he wanted to ensure a dominant position in the next political system when he left martial law. So he wanted to reserve all powers in his hands, and that's why he adopted for non-partisan assembly because it would be weak inherently. He was having also the power to appoint caretaker government. 58(2)(b) we already discussed. It was unconstitutional. It created an unconstitutional arrangement troika where the president, prime minister, and army chief was the decision maker and were the decision maker. And in fact, the decision came from behind the scene, not from president and prime minister. That empowered and indirectly elected President more in against the Prime Minister of Pakistan, which was directly elected. Military retained its power behind the scene, so they were not in need of imposing martial law. Martial law regulations and all orders were adopted, and since after lifting martial law, they all stand cancelled practically because they were part of 8th constitutional amendment. However, nine martial law orders and four laws were included, and CMLA's order were scheduled to the MLO's 107. They were saved and modified. The cancellation of martial law regulations did not lead to the lifting of or cancelling of all the decisions made by the military courts during that period. Those decisions which have been done were binding, and those decisions which were pending or need confirmation, and they were to be transferred to the civilian court by the president and prime minister, and they were also subject to appeal to civilian court and the president for indemnity. This was the review of its constitutional amendment. It has long-term impact on the politics of Pakistan. It managed the control of military behind the scene, and the four governments were dismissed by the president of Pakistan. But when this was repealed through a 13th constitutional amendment unanimously by all parties, then there was no more to control behind the scene. So military has to intervene directly, and in 1999, Musharraf imposed martial law in Pakistan. That's all for today. Thank you very much.